A few days ago, I reached out to you guys with an idea to grow something together. A worldwide community garden bed where you pick the crop to plant and I do all the work. The response was great and the ideas of what to grow were even better. Within 24 hours, there was a pretty clear choice of what you guys wanted me to plant. The only problem is, it wasn't the best choice. And in fact, might not even be possible this time of year. But being the people pleaser that I am, I can't refuse. So, the crop that we're going to grow in our worldwide community garden bed is aphids. I mean, Brussels sprouts. But we're not going to plant them quite yet. You see, where I am in Zone 9, it's just not the time of year to be planting your fruiting brassicas. I looked at the timeline every which way, and I just couldn't make it work. We'd be harvesting the Brussels sprouts in the dead heat of summer. Broccoli and cauliflower were a definite maybe though. At 55 to 60 days until maturity, we could plant large starters and get away with it. But that felt like cheating. And were we really going to learn as much as we possibly could from this project? And when you look at Brussels sprouts, they're a 100 to 120 day crop. There's no way we're going to be able to plant these guys now and harvest anything of value. So, we're still going to plant the Brussels sprouts, just not right now. These guys go into the garden about 10 weeks before your first fall frost date, which for my area is around November 10th. So we're looking at getting these guys out in the garden around the first week of September. That's around 5 months away. Our community garden bed project is off to a banging start. But then I got to thinking, this could actually work out even better than we first planned. But we can't let one crop stop us. Surely we can grow another crop in the interim while we wait. And if 2 crops are good, how about 3? But 3 is an odd number. How about 4? Okay, hold the phone. Can we really grow 4 crops in a season in this single bed where the original plan was just for 1? Yes, we sure can. Let me show you what I got planned. Brussels sprouts are big. They're going to take up the whole bed. It's the beginning of April now, and they'll be going in the first week of September. That gives us 5 months or 150 days to work some magic. So we need a relatively fast crop, but not super fast. I think a row of trellis sugar snap peas along the back of the bed would work fantastic. And while those guys are growing, a great companion plant for the peas would be a row of radishes. But radishes grow fast. So fast that the radishes will be fully grown and harvested just as the peas are starting to flower. I think you can see where I'm going with this. With the peas still growing, let's harvest the radishes and then seed in another couple rows of epic spinach. Both the radishes and the spinach are 30-day crops, so their timeline will coincide with the peas perfectly. Then, at the time of the final harvest for both the peas and the spinach, it'll be mid to late summer, and I'll have the Brussels sprouts primed and ready for planting. So the project has ballooned, obviously, but I'm all kinds of excited to see how it plays out. The real value, though, is going to be in the sheer amount of methods and concepts that we're going to be able to cover with this endeavor. We'll talk about bed prep, weeding, no-till planting, direct seeding, thinning, trellising, companion planting, pollination, succession gardening, spacing, seed starting, and transplanting. And that doesn't even cover the usual topics of watering, fertilizing, and harvesting. I really think this idea ballooned into a monster project, but in a good way. But that also means that I need to get to work. These crops aren't going to plant themselves, so let's get this party started. Like I mentioned in the previous video, this bed last grew garlic, and it was harvested around 7 months ago. Dormant beds are a good thing, but that precious topsoil needs to be covered, either with a cover crop like fall rye, or literally, like I've done here. Let's clear off the bed so we can see what we're dealing with. Covering that topsoil layer protects it from the harshness of the elements. If you're not growing anything in a dormant bed, this is essential to keeping the soil profile healthy and functioning. Anytime you see life in that top section of the soil, you know it's healthy. A few weeds here and there, but nothing too crazy. I'm not a fanatic about weeds, but for the aesthetics of this video, I'm going to go ahead and clear out the bed now. Normally, I'd simply plant on top of the unwanted plants and smother them out. It's easier and it doesn't disturb the soil. Okay, let's go ahead and add some fresh compost to set up the ultimate landing pad for our seeds. I like to sift the big bits out. All I want is a light dusting to place on top of our bed here, just to give the plants a little boost after they sprout. This application of a slow release amendment like compost means we won't have to fertilize for at least a month. Remember too, seedlings have all the nutrition they need for the first couple of weeks of growth. I rake it clean and tamp it down gently, giving us the perfect landing pad for our seeds. Not too hard, we don't actually want to pack it down here. The goal is just a nice level area for seeding. Perfect. This is a bed that's ready for planting. Peas are on deck. Now, peas are one of those seeds where you can soak them overnight first to get a head start on germination, but it's not necessary. Peas are planted about 1 inch deep and around 2 inches apart. I plant 2 peas at a time to ensure germination success at each location. I'll simply remove the weaker plant if both sprout. I ask you, is there anything more pure than simple direct seeding? It's the fastest part of the whole process. We should really take the time to enjoy it more often. If you made a little trench for the seeds like I did, you can either rake it back in to cover them up, or use any excess potting mix that you have lying around to plant that way. When doing multiple rows in a single bed, I do like to go the potting mix route, as it shows me exactly where the rows are after planting. Remember what we said about bare soil. Immediately after planting, even before the watering, I always throw a light dusting of mulch on to protect that top layer. In this case, I'm using fine straw. See how that mulch protects the soil and disperses the relatively heavy application of water? It's amazing. Mulch is truly our best friend. Okay, time for the radishes. Now, these guys usually get a foot between rows, but we're going to try and squeeze that down to 8 inches so that we can fit 2 of them. Radishes get planted about half as deep as peas do, so I'm just going to seed the rows right on top of the surface here. Cover them up with that same potting mix and throw on a light dusting of mulch. Water to consolidate the planting, easy peasy. Easy stuff. The peas should be up in about a week and the radishes even quicker than that. For the next update, we'll plan to get our trellising in for the peas and we'll have a closer look at our germination rates. Fingers crossed on some good sprouting. And with that, the worldwide community garden bed project is underway. Check back often for constant updates, and if you have any suggestions on how we're growing, maybe you want to see things planted a little bit differently, make sure to leave a comment down below. Input is always welcome. Hey, this garden bed here is as much yours as it is mine. Hey, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate the support more than you know. And if you're getting value from these videos, please like and share them to spread the word and help your fellow gardener to grow better.